Alrighty, so we are going to do target D day 3 today, and that is actually on page 29. We are skipping page 28 right now, but we will do that tomorrow. So don't cross it out or anything. But we're going to be doing question A, and we're not going to be doing question B, so I may write on that just so you know. But we're going to be taking figures, geometric figures, and we're going to be breaking them down into figures that we have already talked about in the last week. So this kind of looks like a house, but I hope you agree with me that I don't really have a formula in my cheat sheet for the equation for the volume of a house. So we're going to be taking these unfamiliar figures and breaking them down into figures that are familiar to us. So I hope you agree with me that in this figure, I have the bottom of this so-called house, which I know is a figure that I'm used to. This is a rectangular figure, rectangular prism. And if you don't believe me, make sure that you also have your cheat sheet out. I have a rectangular prism, which is going to be right here. It's kind of like a box. It has no triangles. And then I have the top of this so-called house. And this house has triangles inside of it. It has triangles on the base. And it's not a pyramid because it doesn't have a pointy top. So if I go to my cheat sheet and find it's not a pyramid because it would have a very pointy top. But if I look, it's either a rectangular prism or a triangular prism, and a rectangular prism has no triangle. So it cannot be that. So it must be a triangular prism. So the volume of my second figure, this is V2, is a triangular prism. And I'm going to save myself some time by not writing triangular. And then what I'm going to do is this was really two problems put together in one. I'm going to find the volume of my rectangular prism, and I'm going to find the volume of my triangular prism, and I'm going to add them together. So there's a couple steps within that. So I'm going to erase, so the only thing I'm looking at is my rectangular prism. And the first thing I'm going to do is I want to see the formula. So the formula for a rectangular prism is length times width times height. I find that from my cheat sheet. And then I know that I'm just really going to multiply all three of the numbers associated with the triangular or the rectangle. And I know that my length of this is going to be 14. My width is going to be 9 times my height of this figure, which is 8. So really, I just multiplied all three of those numbers together. Take a second and in your calculator, do that math. 14 times 9 times 8 will be 1,008. 1,008 inches cubed. And remember, this is kind of just like a problem we did on Friday. So it's not too difficult. Those were how we did the rectangular prism. Now I'm going to take a look. I'm going to erase this stuff and take a look at my triangular prism. So I'm going to go find it again. And my triangular prism was here. And I'm going to go and look on my cheat sheet for the volume of a triangular prism, which would be 1/2 the base times the height of the triangle times the height of the figure. For time purposes, I'm not showing you this step, but I really am looking at my cheat sheet for this. I do 1/2 at the end, remember, and then I'm going to go find the base of this triangle. Well, there's some pieces of information missing. The base of this triangle is right here, and I need to find the length of this green highlighted line, and this is actually going to be, 14 inches. The length of this green line is 14 because the bottom of this rectangle is 14. So the top of it must also be 14. In a rectangle, the top and the bottom numbers are the same. The top and the bottom sides are congruent. So the base is 14. The height of this triangle is 5. And then I need to multiply that by the height of the figure. And this figure is kind of side, and so this figure is going to have a height of 9. So the missing number here will be 9. And then I'm going to have 1/2 of 630, which will put me at 315 inches cubed. And then for your answer, you need to multiply, or you need to add those two numbers together to get your answer. And you can check my answer key for what that is.